Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christie, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy and Merry Christmas. Today is Christmas Day, and I am hopeful that you are enjoying some downtime, some quiet, some love, some family, some peace today, this day. I also hope that you are ready to hear a few more definitions of productive joy, because in my opinion, this is an important way for us to kick off the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025. So, for this episode, I want you to really just think about, okay, all the things that are being mentioned here, what makes the most sense to me? And how can I start to create my own version of productive joy? So, yesterday, I went through all of the definitions for the first 20 or so episodes of productive joy. And remember, this is the question that I ask to all of my guests. So now I'm going to go through the next 20 or so and talk through the ways that they have defined productive joy as well. So here we go. I left off with Aaron Port, so I'm going to pick up with Mark Goodman. Mark Goodman talked to us about forgiveness. Remember the power of 7 times 70 and the importance of forgiving others? He said that productive joy is a daily commitment, a conscious choice to prioritize fulfillment and purpose. How great to think about the fact that we get to choose. We get to choose to have productive joy in our lives. We get to choose to make really awesome things happen. And that's a choice I think that it's worth making. So that was Mark's contribution to this space. Next, we interviewed Erin Gear. Erin works for Pepsi, and she has really figured out a way to balance work and life in a way that works for her. She started Parents of Pepsi, which is a group that supports those who are working and are parents, which I think is really powerful as well. So Erin said, productive joy is the art of seizing the moment, transforming every challenge into an opportunity for growth and fulfillment. That's a pretty darn good definition. Solid, makes good sense, and definitely rings true in my space when I am intentional. And I think intentionality is something that comes along with productive joy. After her, we interviewed Dr. Brianna Rue. Okay, so Brianna was cool because she is an optometrist turned tech owner, and she's done some pretty great things as she's gotten out of the dark. Remember, she's the one that decided that she didn't want to spend the rest of her life in a dark room. Makes good sense to me too. She said productive joy is the practice of gratitude, embracing the journey with an open heart and mind. I think that's a pretty beautiful way to look at it as well. Then we had Altair Gonzalez. Altair is a dear friend of mine, someone who makes me smile every time I'm in her presence. She works for a company called Rise, and they plan events all over the country for healthcare professionals specifically. But she's just a fun human, one who travels the world by herself and has had some pretty epic adventures. She said productive joy is the act of fostering an environment where individuals can flourish and express their love freely. She does this with her employees. She's very thoughtful about making sure that people are thriving at work and not just surviving, which I think is productive joy in a nutshell. Next, we had some sisters. This was cool because Kristen Ritchie and Caroline Johnson work together as lawyers in a law firm, all women, and they practice family law. And what they said productive joy is the collective effort of a team where each member contributes their unique strengths to achieve a shared vision fueled by happiness and fulfillment. I love the idea of productive joy being a team sport. And that's exactly what they choose to do at their law firm down in Boca, which is a part of Florida south of here. Okay, then we had Anthony Cook. Anthony is a really fun human being. He did get elected to school board, by the way, and we're super excited to see what the next couple years will bring because of him in that seat. But what Anthony said, remember, Anthony said wins or lessons, not wins or losses. And I think that there is so much power in that. Anthony also said that productive joy is the outcome of mindful thought and a positive outlook, choosing to focus on the good in every situation. The other thing that Anthony talked about that I thought was great was we're all either cats or dogs. Cats being a little more standoffish and holding back, but dogs are more that, oh, yay, fun people. And that every human on the planet falls into one of those two categories in some way or another. Thought that was a pretty astute observation. Then we had Troy Whitehurst. Oh, Troy was cool. Troy actually managed to heal himself through diet and thoughtful happiness, right? He also wrote a book and it talks about happiness, but his definition of productive joy is the synergy between action and intention, where every seed of joy planted has the potential to blossom into something beautiful. Doesn't that just warm your heart? It makes good sense to me. Next, we had Amos and Crystal Pierre. Amos and Crystal are a beautiful couple who happen to be our pastors. And they are, oh, they're just good humans, the kind of humans that you kind of want to spend time with. And they said that productive joy is the thrilling journey of inner growth and the anticipation, big word, anticipation of future possibilities. So when you think about productive joy, it's really about anticipating what's coming next and recognizing that you get to dictate a lot more of that than you realize. So let's press pause for a second because we have a few more. And as we go through these last few, I want you to think about what is your definition of productive joy? When you stop and think, okay, when I say productive joy, I mean fill in the blank. It's an open slate, and you get to decide what you think productive joy is. My recommendation, though, is that you find a way to make it. Because if you're not making it and you just know what it is, what good is it doing you anyway? Okay, so we have a few more. And the next one we're going to talk about is Dr. Jeff Standridge. Jeff was cool. He's a professor. He is also just a pretty neat guy. And he said productive joy is the privilege of sharing passions with loved ones backed by the resources to make a lasting impact. Wouldn't it be great if we knew that our joy that we're creating today would have a lasting impact, whether it's on future generations, future humans? I guess it would be future generations, wouldn't it? People that we haven't even met yet. And that to me makes really good sense. Okay, next we had Dr. Lindsay Frey. Lindsay said that productive joy is the harmonious blend of a positive mindset and supportive relationships propelling you towards your goals. Wouldn't it be great if productive joy actually produced something? To me, it has to, right? And just recently, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but just recently we learned that productive joy is, or well, not productive joy, but well, yes, that too. But in one of my recent episodes, we learned that when you are trying to get to a goal, it's really not about the goal, it's about the pathway to get to the goal because it's about the journey, not the destination. So I think that fits well with what Dr. Frey said. Then we had Mark McFatridge. Mark is a good friend of mine and a good man who started a company that helps CEOs meet with other CEOs so that they don't feel alone, and it's called Quaid. He said productive joy is the wisdom of collecting life experiences, storing them for future growth, and knowing the perfect moment to apply them. Power for sure. Okay. I met Amy Woodall, my next guest, because of Mark McFatridge. She is one of his CEOs involved in Quaid. And what she said was that productive joy is the ability to fully immerse oneself in the present moment, even in challenging circumstances, and extract valuable lessons from every experience. She's also the one that said that joy isn't always the goal. Sometimes you have to live in your feelings. Not good at that, but I do know the importance of it, and I'm learning more and more why it's of value to live in those feelings every once in a while. Okay, then we had Lisa DeAngelis. Lisa was pretty great. She talked about change being a friend, the friend you didn't know you needed. And she said productive joy is the art of breaking free from stagnation, rediscovering motivation, and rekindling your passion. Sometimes we all need a reset, don't we? And I think that that's exactly what Lisa was talking about. Okay, so after Lisa, we had Jess Panic. And Jeff is a pretty cool guy who helps people with financial freedom. and has written a book about it, which is very cool. And he said productive joy is a highly personal journey. Appreciate that. It's unique to each individual as it hinges on discovering and pursuing one's own passions and purpose. So I have to look inward for productive joy. I can't look outward and just expect it to happen. That's not how productive joy works. Then I had Sydney Hughes. Sydney's a very neat lady who has opened a company called Senior Proof. And Senior Proof is to senior proof your home. When people get older, they often need a little extra assistance, whether it's a chair rail or a ramp or whatever. And she helps make that happen. She said productive joy is the self assurance to embrace individuality, knowing that your unique qualities set you apart. She also said that she might not be everyone's cup of tea because she's actually champagne. Fully appreciate that. All right, there are just a few more. We also have, I hope you're thinking about yours, we also have Mike McCormick. Mike McCormick was a former superintendent in California, and he said that productive joy is the investment of time and effort that yields the harvest of improved humanity. That's a really big call to action that I think we all need to think about. Power in those words for sure. Okay. So I have a couple more. Devina Stanley was our friend from Australia, but she's not just from Australia. She's lived all over the world. And she said productive joy is the ultimate satisfaction, a state of contentment and fulfillment. One of the themes that I'm seeing over and over again is that word fulfillment, where you're not constantly searching for the next thing because you're living in the thing that you're in. That to me sounds like productive joy. Evan Marks was a fabulous guest who talked about, well, he talked about a lot of things, but he's a life coach. And Evan said that productive joy is the empowering choice to align your actions with your words, leading to a life of integrity and success. I really like the idea of the word integrity being tied to productive joy. I think when we are being our most integritous versions of ourselves, there is something to be said for that because that's what allows us to thrive. And I think that that's completely worth it every time. Okay, then I had Ken Rusk. Oh, Ken was the one that I was just talking about that said some really brilliant things. But another brilliant thing that he said was that productive joy is the shared excitement of achieving goals, celebrating milestones together, and inspiring one another to reach new heights. So, Ken actually has a blackboard in his office where people write their goals down. Remember, it's about pathways, not goals, though. These are the things that people are trying to do. Maybe they're trying to pay off a car, or they're trying to go on a big trip, or they're wanting to learn Spanish. Whatever it is, they do it publicly and they high five each other publicly. That's productive joy, seeing other people reach their goals. Love it. Then we had Lindsay Farrell. Lindsay said that productive joy is the delicate balance between highs and lows of life, a state of equilibrium that can be achieved through mindful living and intentional choices. Hmm. Yeah, I agree, Lindsay. I agree very much. Then we had Dan Dirksen. Dan talked about productive joy being a rediscovery of the inherent joy of meaningful work, where contribution becomes a source of fulfillment and satisfaction. He's the one that taught us that work is actually what we're meant to do. It shouldn't be miserable. It should be wonderful, but we get in our own way sometimes. And so we need to get out of our way and recognize that work is what we were made to be and do. And we need to embrace that a little differently than maybe we have before. And then we had two more guests before the year wrapped up, and that's Erin Bro. Erin said she's a teacher who changes lives legitimately all the time out in California. And Erin said that productive joy is the resilience to find joy even in the face of adversity, a testament to the power of honesty, vulnerability, and personal growth. She doesn't just ask her kids to grow, she is willing to do the same. And there is so much joy in doing just that. And then we had Lior Arusi, and Lior said, productive joy is the selfless act of contributing to the well being of others, finding fulfillment in the positive impact of your actions. Y'all, Those are beautiful. That's a year's worth of B12, a year's worth of ideas around productive joy. I named this podcast because I think you should make work fun. Otherwise, people quit, right? Which is great in theory, but what does that actually mean? So, ChatGPT and I got together and we put make work fun into the algorithm and looked to see what else it could mean. And one of the things it came up with was productive joy. And I thought, that's it. Because it's not just about what happens at work, although that's important. It's what's happening in life. And we get really busy, especially in this season. So, as today, maybe you're slowing down a little bit and you're taking a minute to breathe, I want you to think about the difference between busy and productive. Because if what you're doing is just busy, then you are not reaching your full potential. What would happen if you stopped being busy and you started being productive? So, what's my definition of productive joy? My definition of productive joy is finding the bright spots in the midst of the chaos to produce a better product, whatever that product is. That product might just be a conversation. That might be an actual product that you're making at work, but the idea is that you are making a better result because of the effort you're putting into what you're doing. I hope that you have enjoyed this recap episode as much as I have. And just hearing these definitions of productive joy makes me want to put the ball in your court. What's your definition of productive joy? This is a call to action. I need you to share it with me. Put it on social media and tag me. Dr. Christy McMullen. You can do it on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, any of those places you can find me. And if you tag me, there's going to be a free gift for you. But you have to tag me and say, my definition of productive joy is, and tell me. You can do it in a video. You can do it in just a post. You have plenty of time to do it because we're going to do this for the next 2 weeks. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, I will send you your extra special something. I won't tell you what it is because that's not as fun. But please, please find productive joy. If you haven't already, I need you to do it. I need you to find it. And I don't mean actually find the podcast. Yes, that'd be great. Please share it with everybody you know. I need you to personally find productive joy. I need you to figure out what it is for you, and I need you to go after it today and every day because you're so exceptional and the gifts that you have are unique to you. It's time for you to exercise those gifts to make something magical happen. So I hope that you are having a wonderful holiday season and that you are enjoying a little downtime where you can stop and think about what are you doing that makes you busy versus productive. And I want you to figure out a way to turn fun into action.